I'll just be a minute. I have got to put the stream up on Discord. Yada yada yada. Yes, that thing. I really should have titled this something else. But, bugger it. That's alright. But ladies and gentlemen, the Dynamic Racing Series Green Championship. We are here at Marina Bay for the Singapore Grand Prix. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, quite simply, the longest Grand Prix of this season. This 5-kilometer circuit with 23 turns is actually the first circuit to ever host a night race in Formula One history. Typical street circuit, narrow, bumpy, difficult to overtake, but because of the fact that it's the longest Grand Prix of the season, along with the fact that it has the most turns and the fact that it's a street circuit, makes this undoubtedly one of the most toughest challenges that drivers have to face this season. And let's get all this good stuff up, as we have a car leaving the pit lane, but I do not know who that is. That is Aussie Rizzy Rick in the Alfa Romeo. So, just before Q1 really begins, I'd just like to talk about the championship. We're coming towards the end now, round 12 out of 15 in this championship. And Wogboy has put himself into a position now that he is officially crowned champion of the Green Championship for a second time. His closest rival, Hooter Magic, was still in mathematical contention coming into this race. However, because he hasn't appeared, Wogboy officially wins the title. Congratulations to him. In saying that, there is no way in hell these fellas are just going to back off. Although the championship has pretty much been done and dusted, still a lot of pride and a lot of bragging rights to fight for here underneath the night sky at Marina Bay in Singapore. So, Aussie Rizzy Rick is going to be the first driver to show us one flying lap around this circuit, coming through Sector 3, through the bus stop. He's coming up to the final two corners on the circuit. He's going to begin his first flying lap in Q1 on a set of soft compound tyres. Away he goes, up through the gears, DRS open. 7th gear into 8th. Where does he start braking? Sort of in between the 100 and the 50 metre board, abusing the curb. Make sure to minimise as much distance as possible and to carry as much speed as possible through turn 4 into turn 5, going down to 3rd gear, just clipping the apex, letting the car run wide through turn 5, down this sort of back straightaway through turn 6 into turn 7. This is going to be one of the hot spots during the race for sure. A lot of overtaking going to take place there. Into turn 8, very nice. 1st gear to get that extra rotation into turn 9, down this short blast into the legendary Singapore sling. A lot less deadly than what it used to be, but it still catches a few drivers out. Anderson Bridge into turn 13. Tight hairpin left, and coming down another short blast into turn 14, where we may see a couple of overtakes, and also the end of Sector 2 right there as well, as we have a Toro Rosso go off at turn 13. I believe that's Honest, maybe? No, Garlaz. Okay. Garlaz is the one that had the moment. Now coming through this cascade of 90-degree corners into turns 18, 19, 20 and 21. And the end off the lap, turns 22 and 23. Very tricky, very easy to invalidate as it goes into the wall. Does Aussie Rizzy Rick. Out of turn 23 to set a 1 minute 37.243 and goes provisionally pole, as you'd expect, as the first driver to cross the start-finish line. Next driver to do so is NBC Alcatraz in the Renault, coming out of the final corner. Sets a 1 minute 37.5, and I imagine a lot of these drivers, oh no, all of them are on the soft compound tyre. This is Q1. This is just a session to try and get out of the bottom one in this case, I think. I've seen a couple of games where it's only the top 14 go through, but I think top 15 should go through. Breno sets a new fastest lap, a 1 minute 36.717. Plenty quicker, half a second quicker than Aussie Rizzy Rick. Finally the Ferrari driver, a very, very good time from him, as we got lots of slow cars on the back straightaway. What on earth is this? What on earth is this? There he goes again. He's distracted with something, that's for sure. Very distracted with something. Let's see, Garlaz is on a flying lap. He has invalidated. Sector 2 yellow flags. That's Alcatraz going very slowly for some reason. Going stupidly slowly for some reason. I don't know what he's doing, to be honest with you. And yes, you pull off to the side, but that stuff that he did on the back straight, very strange, in the second DRS zone. Very, very strange. So Big Chich in the McLaren, coming onto the pitch straight away now. DRS open to begin his first flying lap at Singapore, coming through turns 1, 2 and 3. Very nice from him. Doesn't really abuse the curbs though. You really have to around Singapore. It's a circuit of millimetres. You have to exploit every single inch of tarmac around this 5k circuit to really try and maximise your time. Coming to the end of sector 1 into turn 7. Now into turn 8 he looks good. Down 2 gears, a bit of a lock up. Doesn't cost him too much though. Doesn't go down into first like Rizzy Rick did. Kept it in second, gets a nice flow out of that little complex. Coming into the Singapore sling, as Semi-Pro is disqualified for driving the wrong way. So he spun out at turns 20 and 21 and he has been disqualified. So all of these drivers will now move on to Q2, all of them except for Semi-Pro. Incredible scenes at Singapore already. Big Chich now coming around into the third sector, beginning the cascade of 90-degree corners. Coming through 18, 19, 20, then 21. At the moment the McLaren looks good, it looks stable. Nice and on the brakes. Nice and gentle with the car. 6th gear, bit of a brake, down to 5th. Carries the throttle flat and goes 9th fastest. I'm sure he can find a bit more time in that car. He obviously thinks so. He still has it in hot lap mode, so he's going to try and find another lap as Alcatraz retires from the session. What on earth is he doing? As now the two-time champion Wogboy, now official two-time champion Wogboy, as False Equation is now retired from the session as well. Okay, thank you Aussie Rizzy Rick for informing us with that. But the grip feels poor around this place. Very, very interesting comment that. Between time trial and the actual qualifying session itself, because in time trial it simulates the perfect conditions for a fast lap and perfect conditions in the car, as well as perfect tyre temps, perfect tyre pressures, as well as the ideal fuel load, ideal management of ERS, etc. Yeah, very interesting comment from Aussie Rizzy Rick, currently— saying that the grip is quite poor around this place at the moment. But I'm sure, as he said in the comments section, that the grip will ramp up as the sessions wear on, as Wogboy will come around to set his first flying lap here at Singapore and goes second fastest, a 1 minute 36.782. 0.06 of a second slower than Breno in P1, very close between the top two. Anyone else on a flying lap? James Cruz, the Super Trooper in the Williams tonight, coming through the third sector, looking good. Looks really nice, really stable, not pushing too hard. Down to fourth gear, short shifts to fifth. Across the line, it's a 51.2. But clearly, he has got a lot more pace up his sleeve. Sure, he'll demonstrate that in a bit. Anyone else on a flyer? Very Lazy Tail is going to begin his first flying lap in the Renault. OP, Magic and Gala as the only two other drivers not to have set a lap time, as Big Chich retires in the pit lane. He is done with Q1. As I said, everyone will get through except for Semi-Pro. For whatever reason, he's lost it in Sector 3 and disqualified himself from the session for driving the wrong way. Sector 2 yellow flags, that is a Williams, that must be James Cruz. It is James Cruz. And he gets out of the way very nicely there, does James. That's Lazy Tail, and Alex 96NZ, it is in the Haas. Coming through the Singapore sling onto the Anderson Bridge into turn 13 as Alex. That's a very neat line from Alex. Coming down the back straightaway into turn 14. Renault looks good. A little bit of a twitch, just a little bit, coming out of corner exit. Uses the curbs quite nicely. Now underneath the stadium. Oh, and just goes into the wall ever so slightly, but gets no damage. Comes out into the final two corners. He'll come across the line to set a 37.7, puts in P7. Quite nice. So, everyone bar OP Magic has set a lap time, and all that Magic needs to do is retire from the session, as he is guaranteed a spot in Q2. Everyone else, I imagine, will do the same and proceed on to Q2. Just have to wait and see. Of course, drivers can just go out and set a couple of fast laps just to get their eye in. There's no real need though. Let's see. Cutsy, I believe, wants to set another flying lap. I believe he is on fresh softs as he proceeds to screw up a little bit. Turn 20. That's alright, doesn't affect the lap itself. Coming on to the main straightaway, he does now. Well done, Server. As Cutsy then invalidates his lap through the second turn. I wonder if that will just make him retire from the session now. As I said, there's actually no point in setting a lap time now. You've all made it. Yeah, I love that from Server Night. Apple bread pizza. Very nice. Instead of banana cake pie. Apple bread pizza. And I think Tal will retire, same with Breno, I imagine. There's Tal. Breno will do the same, and I'm sure OP Magic will also do the same. Retire from the session, and we'll move on to the important stuff in qualifying 2. There we go, there goes Breno. So it's just up to OP Magic to retire from the session. He is guaranteed a spot, I think, into Q2. This game does some funny things sometimes. So to explain what happened to Alcatraz, why he was so slow, his wheel cut out during his hot lap. And I guess he was just trying to fix it. But not putting the car into AI mode, because that is a horrid idea if you do that. Yep, cut out after turn 3, had to use your controller. Righto. Yeah. Come on, OP, let's go. I'm sure someone's telling him. This longest Grand Prix thing is going to be even longer now. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. So, Pro? Yeah. So everyone's in, except for Semi-Pro, because he disqualified himself during quali. Let's see if we can't see it here. There it is, driving the wrong way on his second flying lap. Got disqualified. You have to be really careful with that. And I know instinctively you want to shove the thing in first and flick spin it round and get it going again, but the game doesn't really like that when you do that. It will penalise you big time. You can reverse down the circuit, no problem. Like, so long as the front of your car isn't facing backwards, you can reverse down as much as you like, but yeah, no. Can't face the wrong way. But now we move on to Q2. This session will decide positions 11 through to 15th. It will also dictate what the top 10 drivers will start on for tonight's race. Let's get all the data up. Very nice. So who will be the first driver to set a flying lap in Q2? I hear a car starting up, but I don't know where that is. Yeah, no, never ever go into AI mode. The AI in this game are both overpowered and garbage. They are overpowered in the campaign, but they have the equivalent IQ of a walnut when it comes to getting out of the way of drivers and sort of human-like racecraft. They've got absolutely neither of those, but they have godlike ERS saving techniques, and they've got an overpowered traction controlled system that makes them ridiculous at certain circuits. Good example would be Bahrain. France is another good one where the AI are just so ridiculously overpowered. It is definitely something Codemasters will need to look into coming into this new 2020 game. They really need to refine the sort of fundamentals, the foundations of the game, because there are so many flaws with this game in comparison to some of the previous titles. See, what they lacked in sort of foundations with this game was sort of a working safety car, you know, not overpowered AI. The upgrade system in the campaign is kind of whack. It's pretty quick, I have to say, in this game. And some of the circuit penalties in this game as well are just horrendous, like Spa, the bus stop chicane. You can get a 5-second penalty for keeping all 4 wheels within the white lines. I've seen it happen. See, what they did with this game, instead of refining with the foundations, they added a whole heap of new stuff. They added a new campaign with a new role-playing campaign, which is nice. They added the Formula 2 cars, which are fantastic, as proven in this league. But they didn't implement them properly. I mean, the role-playing campaign is great, but all it is 3 crap scenarios. And after that, The only difference between a normal campaign and the role-playing one is that those two AI, Lucas Weber and Devin Butler, are involved in it. And that's about it. And the Formula 2 cars, well, you don't see them ever again after those three scenarios. There is nothing online that you actually do with the Formula 2 cars. And yes, you can do the Formula 2 Championship if you want to. That is in the game. But you shouldn't really have to go out of your way in order to find extra content, extra fun content. And even the classic cars, I had so many opportunities with the classic cars to do something awesome with them. And they are next to bloody boring in the campaign. They are next to useless in the campaign. You never ever do classic events in the campaign. They serve no purpose. Oh, I just hope F1 2020 is way better than this thing. But we should talk about qualifying. False Equation will be the first driver to set a flying lap here at Singapore. He crosses the line and sets a 1 minute 38.9. Next driver to cross the line, I think, is a Renault. It's Alcatraz on the soft compound tyre. I thought he would have got invalidated there. He goes out to set another lap. He must have made a mistake. Let's see here. McLaren's coming up. It's Big Chich. Then a Toro Rosso. Galas goes fastest. A 138.9. A little bit quicker than False Equation. Williams crosses the line. That's James Cruz. A 43.9. There's a lot more pace in these guys. I know that. Alcatraz. What the... Again, probably his wheel cut out, most likely. Spun his car back round. Got wing damage as well, so he'll have to come in. Big Chich going purple through Sector 1. Looking good. Whoa, thought he almost clipped the wall then. Very close. Robbie Alonso on the hard compound tyre. The only driver to be on the hards. Comes around the final corner and he will go fastest. A 1 minute 37.935. A lot more competitive time there. Even on the hard compound tyre. Very, very nice. How about that? Two drivers with number 14 as well. Romy Alonso. And the very lazy tail, I believe, also has a number 14 on his car. Let's see. Whoa. James Cruz. Hello. And Alcatraz. Having a little get together. Oh, and poor Alex. On a flying lap as well. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Sector 2 yellow flags. That's a Red Bull. It's Server Knight. He's on a flyer as well. Not sure if he was impeded. He just might have been. Honest Crook is the car ahead and he's only on an out lap. See here, so Toro Rosso coming around, and Renault, that's Alcatraz, so Alex will be the next car, but he got impeded by James, so he'll have to go out and set another flyer, but he's currently fastest on the medium tyre, 37.903, so Honest Crook will come around to set a flying lap. On the medium compound tyre as well. Comes through the final through two corners to begin his flyer. DRS wide open. Speedo climbing up and over 300 kilometers an hour. Into turn 3 and turn 4. Going into turn 5. Third gear? Yes, he does. It doesn't quite use all the road on exit, as Resurrect now goes faster. So he goes 1 second quicker than Alex. Brenner goes to P2, only 1/10 quicker than Alex. So Resurrect showing fantastic pace at the moment here at Singapore. Just a slow car. Honest Crook now coming around into the mid part of Sector 2, into the Singapore scene. Through 11 and 12, coming on to the Anderson Bridge, another slow car through Sector 1, that's right. This Crook, a lot of understeer through the hairpin at turn 13. That's the problem. You lose so much corner exit speed because of it, and then you lose straight line speed coming down that straight. So it just compounds your problems. The car's understeering like that. Car looks good through the 90-degree corners though, coming into 18 and 19. Oh, he may have clipped the wall there. He hasn't got any damage though. Third gear, abusing the curves as you should. Oh, but gets a lot of oversteer on exit. It compromised his run. This Crook will now come across the line and goes P6, just above his teammate Garlaz. A 1 minute 38.797. But now, the newly crowned champion of the Green, the DRS Green Championship, Wogboy. Let him tell you why he's a newly crowned champion. I'll stay quiet and we'll watch Wogboy do his thing around Marina Bay. And there we go, he goes faster, so 1 minute 36.417. He is half a second quicker than Aussie Rizzy Rick and P2, and that is a Williams. It is James Cruz. Alcatraz trying to find a way past, but he's only on an outlap. Now James diving to the outside to let... Oh, as Tal's left the session, hopefully he can join back. It's one of the Toro Rossos, it's Honest Crook, he comes in as well, so James Cruz will now be on an outlap. Oh, and Alcatraz dives out of the way. He's having a lot of problems at the moment. Through turns 1, 2 and 3. Very, very nice from James through turn 4, the small kink of 4 into turn 5. James uses absolutely no assist at all, no traction control, no ABS, no racing line, no manual gears as well, manual ERS, manual everything. Dude isn't the quickest guy, but he keeps going. He just keeps going. It's fantastic. He's actually, to my knowledge, either the second or third most prolific reserve driver in the Green Championship, behind the likes of Pure Gold, I believe, who was a former full-time driver, now reserve driver, if I am very much not mistaken. I'll just double check that. Sorry, no, the fourth most prolific reserve driver, and he's behind the likes of Pure Gold, XJ Schmidt and Pete Crichton, who are all incredibly fast drivers. So this guy's commitment to the league and commitment to racing as a whole, it's absolutely fantastic. Comes across the line and stays in 11th, 1 minute 40.920. Sure, he's got a bit more pace up his sleeve. Server had just completed a lap. Semi-Pro leaves the session. I'm sure he was able to return. Goes 7th fastest as well, does Server. Made the jump from McLaren to Red Bull in an attempt to try and stop getting rotten luck. At the moment, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. Shown some good performances, but yeah, just some really unfortunate races as well. Hopefully he'll be able to turn it around here at Singapore and finally get a good result, which he deserves. Big Chich coming into the heavy braking zone of turn 14, into the small kink of 15, and into 16 and 17. Romy Alonso has retired from the session. Okay, very interesting. Ooh, James Cruz. I just saw that. Alonso and Cruz coming together. Let's see here. Coming around turn 9 at the moment, into turn 10. Oh, don't back off, I want to see. Damn it, they despawn. Something happened between those two. Don't know what. Romy Alonso had just left the session. Not too sure at all. We'll have to wait and see. Wogboy has retired from the session though. He's happy with his current time. Same with Servanite. He's retired from the session as well. Currently P6. OP Magic coming around, another reserve driver for the Green Championship. Breno's retired from the session in P4. He thinks he's good. Let's see what OP Magic can do. The Frenchman in the Williams. Oh, looks good, and he is good. Third fastest on the medium tyre. 1 minute 37.033. And a very lazy tail. The last driver to set a flying lap at Singapore. On the medium compound tyre as well. Currently only 2 drivers in the 10, I think. No, it's only 1 driver in the 10 who has set a time on the softs, and that's Big Chich. Might put him at quite the disadvantage considering how many drivers have actually set times on the mediums. But you never know around Singapore. Safety cars are quite prevalent. It's very, very easy to have a big accident and for the safety car to come out. Through 11 and 12. As we have an accident. Oh, Garlad's not in a good position at all. That compromised Towel a little bit. The bubble at the moment, a 1 minute 37. Okay, why is that time so low down? What's that? Okay, very strange. So the current bubble is a 37.9, but it isn't a 37.9. Because the 37.9, that would put him into P7. Romy Alonso. Very strange. Vital, he'll come around. Looks like a good time too. He goes 4th fastest. Very, very nice from the very lazy Towel. He gets himself into the top 10 quite easily. Garlas, can he dig himself out? No, he can't. So who's left? OP Magic. Coming around the final turn in no ERS. Just come across the line in P3. A nice little session then for the Green Championship. Wogboy will start on pole position by half a second to Aussie Rizzy Rick in P2. OP Magic will start from P3, the very lazy tail P4, Big Chich P5, Breno P6, Alex P7, Servanite P8, Alcatraz P9. Romy Alonso's been kicked out as a 10. So those are the drivers who have made it through to Q3. Romy Alonso's been kicked out. Very strange. So we'll only have 9 cars for quali. Don't know what's that about. Do not know what's that about. Only 9 cars in Q3. Okay, that's throwing me off a little bit. So, okay, fine. He did crash out, Romy Alonso. Don't know why he's starting 10th though. He did a 37.9. Did a 37.9, which would have got him easily into the 10. I know he retired from the session. Very odd. Very, very odd. So let's move on to Q3, to 12 minutes of Q3. Everyone's going to be on the softs, no doubt. No, Big Chich isn't. He's on the hards for some reason. But Wogboy, he'll be the first driver to set a flying lap in Q3. Should be one hell of a lap. Drivers cutting the chicane. Can't really stop it. It's unsportsmanlike, but I get it. Tell you what, like we did in Q2, I'm going to let Wogboy do some of the talking here. I think this is going to be one hell of a lap from the two-time champ. Now coming underneath the stadium. Through turns 20 and 21. Very slowly, I must say. But let's see how this guy does it, as Schmidt has now joined the session, which is awfully nice. Down the main straightaway, rather, into turn 1. Now coming into turns 2 and 3, abusing the track limits as you do, as everyone will do. Nice and on the power, up the gears into 6. Now third gear, I'm imagining. Yep, short shift, there we go. To get that extra rotation, it's sort of his trademark. Short shifts down 1 extra gear to get that extra rotation with the car. Third gear, short shifts to 4th to minimise wheel spin. We'll use second, maybe first? No, just second. As Schmidt has now left the session. Make your mind up, man. Coming through the Singapore Sling. Turns 11 and 12 over the Anderson Bridge into turn 13. Bit of a lock-up, but it never costs him anything, these lock-ups. Into turn 14. Very, very nice. And short blast to 15. 16, then 17. Short blast into 18 and 19 underneath the grandstand. Let's see what this guy can do. Coming into the final 2 corners now. The short blast into 22 and 23. What's it going to be? It's a 35-2. There we go. That tells everyone that's the marker you have to beat. Let's see what Alex can do. Comes across the line. It's a 37 flat. 1.8 seconds behind Rizzy Rick. How close can he get? It's a 36-0. He's 7/10 off Wogboy. Chich is coming into the pits. Alcatraz is the next car. Coming through the final 2 turns, I believe he has made a mistake. Oh, no, he hasn't. It's a fairly respectable time. It's a 37.1. Just looked like it. Tal is coming in. Servanite's coming around. The final 2 turns across the line, goes third fastest. And Breno will be the last car to cross the line. Goes third fastest and beats Servanite by almost 2/10 of a second. Let's see. OP Magic now. One of 3 drivers to have not set a flying lap. Let's see what OP Magic can do. That is one hell of a time from Wildboy. A 35.295. 7/10 of a second quicker than Aussie Rizzy Rig. That is quite the time, I have to say. 7-8 goes through. Let's see. No, we might as well stay on board with OP Magic. Everyone else will be coming in on their in lap, change tyres, get ready for the final run in qualifying. Sector 3 yellows, that's just OP Magic. Okay, so one driver's out on another flying lap. That is Alcatraz, okay. So he's saved up a bit of fuel, and he's going to go again. At least we've got someone to watch until OP Magic comes across the line. Fourth gear, keeps it in fourth though, and runs it all the way up to the wall. Very nice there. Using all the track does out. DRS wide open, 8th gear. 315 kilometers an hour, and apparently he is purple in sector 1. I don't believe that, but apparently he's purple. Coming through turn 9, down the short blast into turn 10, the Singapore sling once more. And Chich still on the hards. Oh no, he's on the softs. As ow! That was quite a moment from Alcatraz. He saves it though. Deary me. So we're right on board with OP Magic. Again, entering the Singapore sling through this complex. This is where Alcatraz lost it. Big sideways moment from the Renault driver. OP Magic abusing the curves and making contact with the wall, and doesn't appear to have made any damage. Not from these camera views anyway. And into the heavy braking zone of turn 14. Very nice on the exit, hard on the power. Down 3 gears. Up. Oh, he's back right off. Okay. He's going to have another crack. It's a big Chich. What can he do? He'll do. This is his first flying lap of this session, and probably will be his only one. It is a very long lap around this place, particularly your out laps and your in laps. So I don't think he'll be able to set another time. Looking good. So OP Magic has actually come back into the pits, so he's going to wait right till the end of the session to try and set a flying lap. Breno's out on the out lap, so he'll be another driver to watch as soon as Chich is finished with his lap. Coming into turns 8, then into turn 9. It looks good, Chich. Bit of oversteer here and there, but it's nothing too bad. Oh, a bit of understeer there though. Let's see, Chich, as Schmidt has now rejoined the session. Oh, I see, he doesn't want to have to put up with the whole of qualifying, I get it. So what can Chich do? In the McLaren, coming into turn 14, goes up to 7th gear. Saw with OP Magic, he held it in 6th through there. As Breno now begins his final flying lap. He has to be careful with traffic. There's 3 cars on an outlap. Servanite, Alcatraz, and Alex NZ. Hopefully they won't be too much of a nuisance, and that is definitely an invalidation. All 4 wheels over the circuit there for sure. That was a 37.2. It would have put him 7th at the moment. So we'll go with Breno, who's currently going through sector 2 at the moment, through turn 8 into turn 9. Uses all of the circuit, all of it, right up towards the wall. And shit, she has to deal with traffic. Okay. Okay, he's just backed off. He's backed right off. So he's going to have one crack at this. Right at the end of the session, right at the death of the session. Bjorgård has joined as well, so obviously race spec didn't go too well for him, I guess. He's now in the session. Let's see what Breno can do. Coming underneath the grandstand into turns 20 and 21. Through the final two corners, comes across the line. He did improve to 36-1. Just missing out then. So I think Wallboys, that train of cars coming through sector 3. I believe they're on an outlap, so we'll keep an eye with this group here. Alex has invalidated, so I think his session is done. At the moment, top two are very close. Alcatraz going through sector 2 rather. That was very close for him. I thought he might have made contact with the wall. I don't think he has. AP Magic has slowed right down. Try and give himself the best lap possible here at Singapore. It's going to be very close for him actually. Very close. 6, 5. No, he's got it. Press the wrong button. So, Alcatraz will be the first of this train of drivers. Set a flying lap. Let's see what he can do. Through the final two corners now. AP Magic has retired from the session. He goes 5th fastest. A 36.9. 7-Eye betters his time by a tenth of a second. Keeps himself P4 for now. With a Ferrari that's out, that's Breno. The Big Chich, he'll be the last car, I think, to set a flying lap. So Wogboy, the next car to come around to set a flying lap time. Comes out of the bus stop. Right now, through turn 21, into turns 22 and 23, that's close. He is pushing hard. Out of the final two corners, will he improve? Oh, dearie me. Let's see what Chichi Boy can do. Comes around and stays in P7. Oh, dearie me. And according to this, Rizzy Rick isn't on a flying lap, but it appears like he actually is. Or not. But Wogboy, sideways across the line. Couldn't quite improve. But that will conclude Q3 here at Singapore with the top 9 being decided like this. Wogboy will start on pole position by 0.7 of a second to Rizzy Rick. Breno P3. 7-Eye, probably qualifying best of P4. Alcatraz P5. Alex P6. Big Chich P7. The Very Lazy Tail P8. And OP Magic P9. Now, I just want to have a look at Breno for a second. No, he didn't invalidate. I didn't think he did. Alrighty then. Oh, don't leave the session, you twat. Let's move on to the race itself here at Singapore. 31 laps, I think, off the top of my head. I think. Right off the top of my head. But here we go. It is relatively clear skies, I'm imagining, here at Singapore. I've got quite the healthy grid. I think if everyone's here, that's 18 drivers, but I'm not sure if Alonso's in the session. I'm not sure if that's him ticking the box, or if That's somebody else. Or the AI, rather, ticking that box. It's going to feel like 50. Yeah, it is going to feel like 50. But I think it's 31. Maybe. I think it's 31. Hey, I've done this too many times. I don't know how many freaking laps it's going to be. Oh, God. As Servanite proceeds to drive his Red Bull into the wall, don't worry, Servanite, we all saw that. So the order goes like this: Wogboy, Rizzy Rick, Breno, Servanite, Alcatraz, Alex. I just want their tyres. Big Chich is the only man to start on the soft compound tyre, and that might be a winning strategy. Might be a winning strategy if there's a safety car. We'll have to wait and see. Lazy Tail P8, OP Magic P9, Romy Alonso, I think that's him in P10 on the hards. Paul's Equation 11th, Honest Crook 12th, Garlaz 13th, Cutsy 14th, James Cruz 15th, Semi-Pro 16th, and our two late joiners, Pure Gold and Schmidt, who are two incredibly quick drivers as well, coming in to make up an 18 driver grid, which is quite the healthy one, I have to say. Great array of talent, great array of drivers, and a great array of strategies. Pretty much everyone in the top 10, bar Chich and Alonso, are on the medium compound tyre. However, all other 8 drivers outside of the 10 are pretty much on a mixed bag of mediums or hards. Literally 4 drivers on the mediums, the Equation, Garlaz, Cutsy and Pure Gold, and the other 4, Honest Crook, James Cruz, Semi-Pro and Schmidt are on the hard compound tyre. Drivers are coming around now through the 3rd sector. We'll finally get this Grand Prix underway. And also you can notice there with Wogboy's fuel gauge, that's a yellow gauge, that means he's on even fuel. So he's running low, just to minimise weight. Just something to point out. Anyone else like that? Doesn't really appear like it. So Wogboy deciding to run low, have that lighter car get that faster start, but he'll have to start conserving afterwards, but he's got good pace that he's able to do that. But the drivers are now lining up back into their respective grid slots, and we'll finally get this Grand Prix underway. 31 laps here at Singapore, totaling 155 kilometres. This is undoubtedly going to be the longest Grand Prix. 90, or it's probably more like 100-second laps around this place in race conditions. But let's go. We've got 5 red lights, and it's lights out. That was a very quick lights out, and away we go. And Wogboy has gotten a superb start off the line, and he will lead into turn 1. Oh, it's 4-wide. Oh, it's an absolute car park at turn 1. Oh my goodness me. As Servanite from 4th on the grid falls down to dead last after probably his best qualifying in the Green Championship, he falls to 18th. Oh my goodness me, it was 4 wide between so many of them. Romy Alonso, a 5-second penalty, collided with Alex 96 on Z and has gained 1 place. So he has to serve that when he makes his stop. As Sector 2 yellow flags, that is James Cruz. He has had a moment at turn 7 and he's fallen to the back of the pack. I suppose one positive for Servanite is that he hasn't fallen away from the pack, and he's clearly got pace, so hopefully he can tear his way up the field. Let's go on to positions change, and Schmidt, XJ Schmidt, the bot himself, what a superb start, 11 positions from the start. Oh, and someone's in the wall. That is Honest Crook in the Toro Rosso. That's a damaged end plate. Oh my goodness me. And Pure Gold up 8 positions as well. Cutsy up 9 positions from the start. So as one Red Bull has lost so much on the first lap, the other Red Bull gains. very, very big stuff, but the top three pull away relatively unscathed, and Wogboy coming around the final two corners will complete lap 1 of 31 here at Singapore. Rizik right in behind with Breno in P3, Alcatraz P4, Cutsi P5, Romy Alonso P6 on the hard compound tyre as well. Let's not forget that. Schmidt on the hards as well in P7. False equation P8, Pure Gold P9, Alex P10, Garlas P11, Big Chich P12, Very Lazy Tail P13, OP Magic P14, Semi-Pro P15, Servanite, a very disappointing start for him, down 12 positions in P16. James Cruz P17, and coming out of the pits, Honest Crook, after replacing his front wing in last place P18. But you are encouraged to finish the race. Every finisher will score points, and he'll score 3 valuable points, as that's a McLaren, and that's Big Chich into the wall at turn 9. He's broken his wing, I think, although the model on his car suggests otherwise. I just see an end plate. Oh, but his temperatures are all over the place. His semi-pro gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting. He will serve that at his next pit stop, which I imagine is soon. Oh, and completely destroys his front wing in the process. My goodness. He will be coming into the pits to get that front wing changed. Oh, the car locking up horribly. Oh! Floyd. Car locked up. He couldn't get the car slowed. And he is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. As, ooh, here we go. Wogboy and Rizik very close together there. That must have been a little bit of lag, I guess. Well, what a start to the race, huh? Pile up at turn 1. And a whole heap of carnage behind. And look at this train. Absolutely fantastic. Currently led by Cutsi in the Red Bull, followed closely behind by Alonso Schmidt, False Equation, Pure Gold, then Alex and Garlas in P10 and 11. Lazy Tal and Chich are into the pit lane. Tal onto another set of softs. Not a bad idea, really. He'll have clear air, and then he's going to set some ridiculously fast lap times. DRS has now been re-enabled, and we're back on the green flag racing. Let's see. Get this nice battle between the hard compound users, Romy Alonso and XJ Schmidt. Not too far behind them is False Equation in P8, and right behind him is Pure Gold in P9. He might be looking for a move here. We're right on board with Pure Gold to just observe this train of cars as Semi-Pro has left the session, the ball bugger. Colliding with the outside wall. He won't be finishing this race. Alonso now becoming the leader of this train. Cutsi has indeed pulled away. Almost a 2-second margin. The hards at this place are absolutely horrible. You want to be ideally on the medium tyre because the softs die out very quickly around here. Oh, it's False Equation, a little bit of a slider, will compromise him through these 2 turns, but Pure Gold has absolutely nowhere to go. He has slide into turn 1, very, very nice from Pure Gold. He takes P8 away from False Equation. At the moment, this is the only battle on the circuit, this four-way fight. Four-way fight between 2 different strategies. Oh my goodness me, they're getting awfully close to that outside wall, I have to say. Romy Alonso is now starting to pull away a little bit from Schmidt. Hard, both of them on the hard compound tyre, both of them on the same strategy, I imagine. You can see there, Pure Gold on the mediums. You can see how much more pace that is. Honest Crook in the clear air and on fresh tyres sets a new fastest lap of 41.959. Like I said, it's about a 100-second lap around this place. So 100 seconds times 31 laps. That is 3,100 seconds. 3,100 seconds. Divided that by 60. We'll get the minutes. I think it's about 50-minute race if Matt checks out right. And those times are consistent. It's not 100 seconds exactly, it's more like 101. Definitely the longest Grand Prix of this season. I'll just accurately get this. What time did I say? 51 minutes this Grand Prix should be. 51 minutes. Very long Grand Prix. As Breno is now into the pits. Very interesting. Front wing change. He's damaged his front wing. New one goes on. And away he goes. Alex gets a 3-second, I believe, if I saw that correctly. So Breno from P3 drops all the way down to 12th as the very lazy tail sets a new fastest lap, a 39.7 on a set of softs. Like I said, he's going to be electric. As Servanite gets a front wing change as well. We're going to see this quite often here at Singapore. Well, at most street circuits, very prone to breaking a front wing. Back up to this great battle between these guys, and Cutsy's falling back into the clutches of Alonso. It's getting closer and closer to P4 as, I thought Pure might have thought about having a look there for sure. Got a good run, just had nowhere to go. With 5 laps into it, far out. Feels longer than 5 laps. Ooh, as Pure Gold does indeed go for it. Makes a move on Schmidt. He moves himself into P6. What can Schmidt do? Can he retaliate? I'm sure he can. If he can get a good run out of here, onto the pit straight, he might be able to challenge Pure Gold. But right now for Schmidt, he just needs to keep up the pace. He's on the hard tyre. He's going to run very long in this race. If he can stay up with the medium runners and keep up with their pace, it's going to help them massively coming towards the end of this Grand Prix when they're on the medium tyre. Of course, if there's a safety car, that might throw all of that out the window. Now OP Magic is right on the back of Garlaz. He's got DRS. He's in mode 4. He's going to look to the inside. Garlaz completely defenseless. Down the inside into turn 7. And OP Magic moves himself into the top 10. While that's going on, this battle is continuing. Schmidt, Pure Gold, Alonso and Cutsy. 4 drivers, 2 different strategies. As Alonso gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. They are going to play a part in this race for sure. As I said earlier during qualifying, you have to maximise each inch of this circuit. As Alonso might have a look. No, he might have just slot back in behind, but he leaves himself vulnerable to his step-in teammate, Pure Gold. Oh, and contact mate. It was probably lag. That's alright. Yes, very, very nice. And False Equation is now introducing himself to the battle as well. So we got a nice fight. 4-way fight, maybe even 5-way fight for 4th place. Cutsy completely defenseless against Alonso. Alonso down the inside. Will Pure Gold follow? Yes, he will. He'll follow his step-in teammate. There we go. Cutsy 2 places lost in 1 corner. Just shows you how powerful DRS is in this game. Completely defenseless was Cutsy and gets a horrible run through turn 5. And here goes Schmidt down the inside into turn 6. Will False Equation follow? Oh, very close between those two. As False Equation, no, he'll just settle. Cutsy, he's defending hard though, hard but fair. But Schmidt has the inside line, and False Equation very smartly will follow. But Cutsy will hold the inside line and goes deep. Might go into the wall. He does. It's only light contact. And say hello to Alex96. He introduces himself to this battle. Cutsy now leaves himself incredibly vulnerable to the Alfa Romeo and the Haas into the braking zone of probably turn 14. I think False Equation might like a look into there. Cutsy, does he get a good run out of the corner? He does. Very nice run, but False Equation with the slipstream can't really do anything. He's not quite close enough. Into 14 they go. So he'll be looking into turn 1 with the DRS. Try and make a move on Cutsy. Make a move into P7. Well, that's going on. The battle for the lead is starting to hot up. Rizzy Rick is now within half a second of Wogboy, right at the front of this race. And at the moment, Rizzy Rick looks good. 80% ERS. He is saving quite a bit as Alcatraz comes into the pit lane on lap 6. Quite early, I have to say. Is he getting a front wing change? No, he's not. Onto the hards he goes. That's a long time to spend on the hards. 23 laps he has to do. Very long time. As Rizzy Rick makes a move for the lead into turn 7. As you would expect with the DRS, it is that powerful in this game. Pretty much dictates overtaking in this game. You can't make an overtake without it. But when you do have it, it's so easy to do one. As a Red Bull, that is Servanite. He has made a mistake at the underpass underneath the grandstands. Virtual safety car as well. Servanite also 3-second time penalty just to rub some extra salt into the wound. Deary, deary me. Still no safety car though. Only a virtual. This battle is really starting to hot up. Pure Gold P3 trying to pull away from his teammate Alonso. And Schmidt now 2.1 seconds behind Alonso. So he's out of this battle. This one here between Cutsy and Alex is now starting to hot up. Oh, as Cutsy jumps on the brakes to make sure he doesn't go over the Delta. If going over the Delta, that's pretty much an instant killer of your race. Wogboy, a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. In he goes, trying the undercut. Got sector 1 yellow flag, so that's Servanite again. Onto the hard, so he's trying the undercut, but he has shot himself in the foot by getting a 5-second penalty for speeding. That will be added on either post-race or when he has another pit stop. False equation 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Oh! Pure Gold, a little bit of a twitch coming out of turn 5. Alonso, he just needs to stick with him. Pure Gold, I think, will be just that little bit quicker on the mediums. What Alonso needs to do is stick with him, match his pace, and maximise the hard tyre and the DRS. Have a far better run on the mediums. Any other battles going on? Not really. It's pretty much these two. We'll have a look at Aussie Rizzy Rick. What does he do? Does he respond to Wogboy with his undercut attempt? But Wogboy, he's got traffic to deal with. He's got Garlaz in front of him. And Garlaz has every right to fight for his position. It is for position. And Wogboy gets an absolutely superb exit. He's going to look down the inside into turn 14. Garlaz, he won't make this too difficult, it seems. Into second gear. And goes through, does Wogboy. What does Rizzy Rick do? He's going in, slams on the brakes and doesn't get a penalty. So Wogboy with the undercut, how much has it paid off for him, I wonder. So Pure Gold and Romy Alonso will take up first and second places when they cross the start-finish line, as they do now. And then Schmidt in P3. You see how these hard runners turn out at the end of the race, as the very lazy Tau had a moment in Sector 3, lets Breno past. Currently P11, as Romy Alonso gets another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Let's see, Alonso, DRS enabled. Turn 7 up the gears. into second gear, third gear, fourth gear, into third, back up to fourth. Oh, and a little bit of a slide as Lazy Tail comes into the pits. Goes onto the medium tyre. Very strange. Hards would be a far better tyre for Tao, I have to say. If I can get to the end of the race on those. And Wogboy has got an absolutely massive lead over Rizzy Rick. Oh my goodness me! Only just caught the sector 2 yellow flags, but it's Rizzy Rick. He's made a mistake at the Singapore. And oh my goodness me, that is an orange wing for sure. His race is over, at least for the win. He didn't need that, and he has to do 21 more laps to finish this race, and I don't think the mediums will do that long, unless he's got another set of hards he can use. Dear me, it's not good for the Alpha team, for Aussie Rizzy Rick. Dear oh dear. And we're going to have this fight between P6 and P7, Cutsy and Garlaz. That will start soon. The Pure Gold going very long on the mediums, trying to stretch these out as far as possible, giving Romy Alonso a very nice tow. Another round. Schmidt is closing just, gap down to 1.4 seconds. Between Alonso and Schmidt it is 4 positions, as Rizzy Rick onto a set of softs. He now goes on to, and he drops down to 14th place. Dear oh dear, after having a moment at the Singapore Sling, potential race win, considering that Wogboy has a 5-second time penalty next to his name, as that's a Haas in the wall. That has to be Alex. He's retired from the session. What on earth has Alex done? Overshot turn 5 as he just voluntarily retired. I think he has. Should do that in the pit lane though. Cars do ghost, so it's not too much of a problem. Or at least they should ghost. But that AI, he'll drive off to a marshal's post somewhere on the circuit. The battle for the lead continues, and Pure Gold is staying out on the mediums. Alonso is now right in behind him, as False Equation comes into the pits from 7th place. He'll fall down behind the Ferrari, I imagine, of Breno, but not behind OP Magic, I think. As Alonso around the outside, what a move. He'll have the inside into turn 8, and he'll get the position. Very nice racecraft move. Oh, but Pure Gold fights back. A nice little switch back there. He holds it around the outside. Oh, they're very nice between those two. Does Pure Gold still have an overlap? No, he doesn't. He'll have to back off into the Singapore Sling. But Schmidt, he's now brought himself into that little scuffle, that little melee. Now dropped him to within a second of the leading duo, as Lazy Tail gets a 3-second fine penalty for multiple warnings. Dear oh dear oh dear, what a race this has been. So much to look at, so little time. And to think, folks, we're not even past the halfway mark yet. Still a lot of racing to go. Garlaz, he's now right in behind Cutsy, the Red Bull driver for P5 right here. It's a big gap in front and behind them. They're pretty much by themselves at the moment, both on the same strategy as well. So if one pits, I imagine the other one will follow, as Pure Gold now comes into the pits nice and easy. He doesn't want to speed. 7-8, a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. That's just absolutely gut-wrenching for Server. He had an absolutely superb race, and they both go in, as I thought they would. As soon as one would go, they both go. As Cutsy, a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So James Cruz as well, 3 seconds. Oh, and that's a Red Bull. That has to be Servanite. Backs it out, and away he goes once again. So it's just not been a good race so far for him. But he has to keep going. Just keep going. That's all you have to do. So Romy Alonso takes the lead of this race. Schmidt in P2 and only 1 second behind our double green championship champion. Wogboy P3 is within a second of Schmidt, and 2 guys in front have to do a stop, and that's Rizzy Rick. He's made a mistake. Whereabouts is that? Turn 5. Dear me. And Breno, Pure Gold, are now going to have a little scuffle. Pure Gold just coming out of the pits on some fresh hard tyres. Breno, on the other hand, on 8-lap-old hard tyres. A lot of racing to do for both drivers. With Breno, massive disadvantage with 8-lap-old older tyres, as Servanite has had another accident. He's going to come into the pit lane. He will serve a 5-second penalty. Servanite has retired from the session. He's had enough for tonight, as Wogboy has made a move on Schmidt at turn 6 using the DRS to his advantage. He moves himself up into P2, and let's be honest, he in an almost impossibly good race-winning position, as Big Chich in the McLaren gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Yes, Wogboy in an almost bulletproof position. He is going to win here, unless there's a safety car or something like that. Yes, at the moment, Wogboy looking completely and utterly unbeatable at the moment. Alex has left the session. Unfortunate for him, he retired from the race. He will end up scoring no points from this race. Oh, excuse me. And Wogboy is now closing onto the back of Romy Alonso. He is within 1 second. He's going to move himself into the lead very, very soon, I imagine. DRS open. Comes to within half a second of Alonso. Coming into turn 3, into the small kink of turn 4. You can see the grip. The younger tyre, the younger, grippier tyre doing its work. Coming down the second DRS straight, and Wogboy will go down the inside into turn 6. Alonso will fight this, no doubt, and Alonso's got a broken front wing as well. Missing end plate on that Mercedes, so he'll have to repair that at his next pit stop. The Wogboy has now moved himself into the lead at Singapore, and he'll easily reach the end. James Cruz, I believe that's Aussie. No, it's not. It is false equation. Going through sector 1. Let's see here. Have we got any other battles? We do. Pure Gold and Alcatraz. The battle for the best of the rest, pretty much. 21 seconds separate Alcatraz to Schmidt in P3. It's a very big gap, I have to say. Alcatraz is going to desperately make that car as wide as possible. Coming down this small straightaway into turn 14. Can't really do anything through sector 3 into the cascade of 90s. You can see there, Pure Gold, he's got absolutely superb pace at the moment. Tal, another penalty. Deary me. And the leader now crosses the start-finish line a couple of seconds ago. That is the halfway mark of this race. Yes, we're only 50% of the way through. A lot more to go ahead. Pure Gold will move down the inside into turn 1. And he'll move himself into P4 Alcatraz. Will he retaliate, I wonder? He's within the second at the DRS detection line. Very nice. Alcatraz, DRS wide open, mode 4, overtake mode. Engage, but he's not quick enough, he's not close enough to make a move on Pure Gold. Cut C 3 seconds again. Oh dear, oh dear. Now everyone seems to be in their own little world. Sector 1 yellows, I believe that is James Cruz. Okay. This battle might close up. Three-way fight for 5th. Alcatraz, Breno and OP Magic. Magic on a different strategy though. He will have to make another pit stop. As we've got Sector 2 yellow flags. It's very early. Okay. Thanks, Codemasters. Gotta love these games with all of their imperfections. It's absolutely great. Alcatraz, Brenner, OP Magic, 5th, 6th and 7th. Coming through the final 2 corners to complete lap 16 as they move on to lap 17. Oh, and Breno, that is very wide, I have to say. I would have lost a lot of time as Aussie Rizzy Rick. It's a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Oh dear, oh dear. Let's see what these fellas can do coming into the second DRS zone, and that was a little slide from Alcatraz. Gaining a lot of time, particularly OP Magic. Got good straight line speed, does the Williams. Catching up to the gearbox of that Ferrari. He's looking good here. On the medium tyre, he's got good speed. That's going to drop off dramatically as the laps wear on. Through turn 13 he goes. It's a good run. Turn 14, beginning of sector 3. Alcatraz runs a little bit wide, and Breno just a little bit of oversteer on exit. Going to 18, 19, 20 and 21, the bus stop. As Romy Alonso now comes into the pit lane as well. Gets that front wing change. And he probably had to serve a 5-second penalty as well for that collision that he made with Alex at the start of the race. So that will drop him quite a fair way down the order. They'll block him out in 7th place, it seems. False Equation's coming onto the pit straight now, but I don't think he's quite close enough to get Alonso. Alonso will come out in 7th place. Here we go, OP Magic coming into turn 6 around the outside. You'll look to the end zone. Breno covers well, but doesn't cover enough. OP Magic is sending it, but he can't quite get the move done. Oh, in contact! Oh, in half spins Breno, but he backs out of it. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That has given Alcatraz a chance to hold on to that 4th place. Dear, oh dear, and I don't think Breno is happy with that at all. Light contact. Almost put him into a wall, but not quite. And Alcatraz now a 3.3 second margin back to Breno. OP Magic now moves himself into P5. It was only light contact, but it was enough. Oh, as I say that, Alcatraz, I saw the colour, I saw the dot. I was going to say, you've been let off the hook, and as soon as you've been let off the hook, he bottles it. Oh dear. Commentator's curse be like that though. So Alcatraz, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He'll be coming in to get that front wing replaced. And Schmidt comes out in P5 on the medium tyre. He comes out just in front of Alonso. I think that's because Alonso, as well as having to get that wing change, I think he had to serve the 5 seconds that he got earlier on. Might be wrong about that. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see what these two gentlemen can do. In the medium compound tyre, they are going to be absolutely electric towards the end of this race. The first driver in Schmidt's sights is the Ferrari of Renault 23. He's already closed in by half a second. Resurrect sets the fastest lap, a 1 minute 39.3. As Renault has gone and left the session. And handing P4 to Schmidt. I hope he can rejoin as soon as possible. So that was a very simple overtake for both Schmidt and Alonso, and they are both going to be quick. But there is one thing that can help the drivers in front, and that is if for the position, rather than trying to move forward towards the likes of OP Magic and Pure Gold. It seems at this point it is almost impossible to catch Wogboy as Romy Alonso goes down the inside into turn 1, and I'm sure Schmidt will retaliate coming down the second DRS zone through turn 6 and into turn 7. Let's see what he'll do. Doesn't get a fantastic run though, as Brenner has rejoined, and he will notice that he's now 2 positions lower than when he left. Dear, oh dear. Renault will not be happy about that, but he's got quite an amount of distance between himself and false equation, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that. And already they have caught on to the back of OP Magic in the Williams. He's also got a little scuffle behind as false equation and Cutsy begin to have a little melee. Let's see here, Alonso, Magic into turn 14. Alonso demonstrating fantastic pace on those mediums, but he has to make it to the end of the race as well. Can't burn the tyres out too quickly. Coming through sector 3, going underneath the grandstand. Alonso, he's looking left, right and centre, but there's not enough room on the circuit to find a way past, but I'm sure coming onto the DRS straight, the pit straight, he will find a way past. But he gets another 3-second time penalty. They are going to play a massive part in the end of this race. Alonso might be able to fight for these positions, but he will ultimately lose them because of the time penalties. But he moves himself into P3 regardless. He's going to try and hunt down his teammate Pure Gold. 9.3 seconds separate him to Pure Gold in P2. He's got 11 laps to try and catch him. 10 laps plus the one they're on now. Very much achievable in these circumstances. Tao, another 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Alright, what can Schmidt do on the medium tyre? Does he have the pace on the tyre to catch up? Rizirek sets a new fastest lap, a 39.1. So Rizirek demonstrating the pace that he had all along. Just that one unfortunate mistake at the Singapore Sling. It's cost him massively, potentially a race win. He was right up there with Wogboy in terms of pace. And considering Wogboy is 25 seconds ahead of Pure Gold, really just showed how much pace Ruby Rick had. Very unfortunate circumstances for him. Schmidt slowly gaining on OP Magic, the Frenchman in the Williams. Sector 1 yellow flag, so if it is a Williams, that must be James Cruz. In 15th place it is. He proceeds to spin out. Don't worry, he will ghost. The guys don't have to worry too much about that. But currently your race leader, 10 laps to go, 23 second margin. That lead is nothing short of bulletproof. Unless, of course, the safety car comes out. But if it doesn't, Wogboy has got a very, very, very good chance of winning this race. Schmidt, he's now within a second of OP Magic. Coming into the Singapore Sling, this is where the car will be fantastic. The younger tyre, the younger, grippier tyre, doing its magic. Going into turn 13. Now down the short straight away into turn 14. Very nice from both drivers there, hovering around the 1 second mark between these two. Through sector 3 again, this is where the Haas will shine. The younger grippier tyre using its better mechanical grip to catch up to OP Magic. Gap is under a second as OP Magic now comes into the pits to do his final stop of the race, allowing Schmidt to go through into P4. Yes, some news on Alonso. The gap that was 9 seconds has been reduced to 3.5 seconds. He is gaining rapidly on his teammate. Very rapidly, actually. To close down almost 5.5 seconds to his own teammate. An OP Magic on a set of hards. That's a very interesting choice. Comes out in 10th. Right beside Garlaz here, through turn 4, into turn 5, 4th gear, he'll get DRS, he'll look to the inside. It's going to be a very straightforward move for Magic. And he goes on to hunt down the two Renaults in front of Alcatraz in a very lazy tail. With everyone pretty much on their final stint, we'll switch it to positions change because it's quite the story, I have to say. The drivers who started from 17th and 18th on the grid are currently 4th and 2nd. It's quite an amazing drive from both drivers. Pure Gold from 17th, currently in 2nd place, while Schmidt, starting in 18th from dead last, is currently in 4th, up 14 positions. Romy Alonso up 7 from 10th. Oh, as a very slow car. That is false equation. That's made a mistake. So much of towel. There's something that I've missed. It's something I haven't really been paying attention to. Too busy looking at the leaderboard. Now we've got this massive train of cars. Towel, he might be going into the pits. No, he's going around. False equation. Okay. False equation's got absolutely no pace at the moment. Currently in 11th. Still going to score points though. False equation 3 seconds. Multiple warnings. Keep an eye on this battle though. So Tal has lost the position to OP Magic. He did lose the position to Garlaz. and for a little bit of time, false equation as well. So he must have made a mistake that I just did not see. As OP Magic has overshot turn 8. Oh, I can't believe it. He's just overshot it. And that's cost him dearly. He was in a fight with Alcatraz for 7th, and he falls to 11th place. But he's still there. He's still in that group. He hasn't lost too much time. As Romy Alonso is now right behind his teammate. He's going to look to the inside of turn 1. No, to the outside of turn 1. His teammate covers, but surely Pure Gold knows that Romy Alonso has got a million penalties next to his name. It's probably for the best to let him past. Oh! The Pure Gold lighting it up on exit. Wow, that was one hell of a moment for Pure Gold. He'll just slot into P3. Alonso up into 2nd. He will lose this though. With fourth place, I imagine. I'll just quickly check the race director in regards to Alonso. 9, 12 seconds of penalties. That will drop him down to 4th place. Now with that done, we'll go back to the battle right here at P8. Galaz, OP Magic and False Equation. So OP Magic fighting back. Clearly has pace to the inside of turn 6. We'll get the job done into turn 7 and we'll try and hunt down Alcatraz. But unfortunately, there is only 5 laps to go in this race. Sector 1 yellows at the slow car. It's Tao coming out of the pits. Having replaced his front wing, he's going out again. And safety car, you have got to be kidding me. Why? Why is there a safety car? Oh, this has shot Romy Alonso in the foot big time. Mercedes-Benz are going to double stack as well. But dearie me, poor Romy Alonso, he's got 12 seconds worth of penalties. It's not going to be good for him. Pure Gold having to double stack. He lost time. Not a great deal of it, but he lost time nonetheless. Schmidt and Brenner coming in. As Tao gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Kitch a drive-through. As Tao gets a drive-through as well. I think both of them got drive-throughs, if I'm not mistaken. Race director incidents. No, there's going to be a lot of these, isn't there? Oh yes, there's a lot. Where are you? Yes, James Cruz, Big Chitch and the Very Lazy Tao. All of them drive-through penalties that they must serve at the end of this race. Otherwise they get, I think it's a 20 or 30 second... Aussie Rizzy Rick, I saw that as well. I saw Rizzy Rick's... He's trying to dump fuel. See that there? Revving the crap out of the engine. James Cruz disqualified from the session, receiving too many penalties. He's out of this race. So, Logboy will come into the pits to put on soft compound tyres to go to the end of this race. He's going to come out in the lead as well. This is going to be a 1 or 2 lap shootout for the end of this race. Logboy serving a 5-second penalty. That's right, he sped in the pit lane when he came in for his first stop. And he'll come out quite comfortably in the lead. The field is so incredibly spread out that I don't see these guys, you know, bunching back up within the laps that are left to them. We might be finishing under safety car conditions. Big Chitch, a 5-second penalty. Cross the pit lane, exit white line. It is easy to do. But the safety car picks up Wogboy, and Big Chitch will fall in behind the racing point, I think. unless the McLaren is allowed to go on by. On a crook, disqualified, ignoring yellow flag. So we've got two drivers disqualified from the session. Rizzy Rick has retired from the session. He's had enough. Big Chitch, a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. And thus is disqualified from the session. Oh my goodness me, this safety car is killing everyone at the moment. So Logboy, I believe, doesn't have any penalties to his name. He does not. I know Alonso does. What about Pure Gold? He does. So even in these circumstances, Schmidt is the only driver to also not have penalties. So Schmidt is lining himself up for second place here, which would be an absolutely superb drive from 18th on the grid. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Lunacy has rather late joined the session. Probably just see all the carnage happen towards the end of this race. My goodness me. And for whatever reason, we're under safety car. We have no reason to be under safety car, yet we're under safety car. Oh, Codemasters, I absolutely love your game. The only thing that is consistent in this game is its inconsistencies. I mean, seriously, you can have the biggest accident in Formula 1 history happen, and all the stewards will do will wave yellow flags. But a car can, I don't know, stop on circuit, I guess. No one retired, so I imagine it must have been stopped on circuit, and out comes the safety car. I don't know if... Oh, dear me. Dearie me. Hopefully the field can catch back up. Hopefully the field can catch back up. Chitch, another 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags as he proceeds to crash into the wall at turn 9 again. And I think the safety car might be in this lap, I'm thinking. Most of the field has caught up. Oh, well, lag, I was going to say. Big Chitch has now retired from the session. Oh, it's jumping all over the place, that's for sure. No, we're still under safety car. It still hasn't come in. We're going another lap, folks. So when they do this lap, there'll be 2 laps to go. It'll be a 2-lap shootout. Wogboy is in the box seat. And the only man at the moment to challenge him is Schmidt in 3rd place. If Schmidt manages to win this race, that will be an absolutely superb result from 18th to 1st, and it will be his first win in any DRS championship if he manages to pull that off. But at the moment, Wogboy, he looks untouchable. But we'll have to wait and see. So it seems that 12 cars are going to finish this race out of 18 that started. It's a fairly typical Singapore Grand Prix. A lot of retirements, a lot of missing end plates, some good action and some good racing here and there as well. Been very nice. Right, here we go. Oh dearie me. Coming through sector 1. Oh, it is jumping around everywhere, dearie me. False equation, 5 seconds, exceeding track limits. Dearie me, how many penalties do these guys have? I know what they have. Breno. He's got no warning, so he's set for a 3rd at the moment. Cutsy, he's got quite a few. He's got 6, because he would have served 1. Alcatraz has only got 3, so he looks good. Garlaz has got 9 seconds. False equation has got 11 seconds. Tal, I know he's got a few. Well, you do have a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 15 seconds worth of penalties, dearie me. Safety car in this lap, fantastic. So we're going to have a 2-lap shootout. 10 kilometers worth of racing. On one of the longest streams in DRS history. We'll finally get back under green flag racing and we'll get this Grand Prix done and dusted. And it is jumping all over the place. Jesus Christ. I hope that's just me and not them as well. But Wog Boy, he'll lead him off the line. Out of sector 3 rather. Oh my goodness me. Breno, 5 seconds, collision with Pure Gold, and away they go. Wog Boy leads them out of turn 23. And Schmidt under attack from Pure Gold already. Sector 3 yellow flags, that is Renault of Alcatraz. He has made a mistake, but we can't take our eyes off this leading pack. Wog Boy leads by half a second to Alonso. Schmidt, the only man who can rival him in this race, currently in P3. He's jumping everywhere tonight. Jesus Christ. Pure Gold down the inside. Takes P3 away from Schmidt, but Schmidt will get that back because of penalties. And he is lining himself up to take P2. Breno, that 5-second penalty, that is a big kick to the gut. Considering he didn't have any penalties, he was lining himself up for a podium finish. It seems that he won't get that here today, and he's got Cutsy, Garlaz, False Equation, and the very lazy Tal. And OP Magic right up his gearbox. Oh, and that's an end play. And oh, that's contact between Magic and Tal. At turn 13, desperate measures from OP Magic, just sending it down the inside. And here we go, through Sector 3, the cascade of 90s once more. Sector 2 and 3 yellows, that is Honest Crook and Alcatraz. No, it's... Oh, it is. Oh, it's the very lazy Tal. He's binned it in Sector 3, completely destroying the front wing. But Wog Boy will cross the start-finish line to begin lap 31 of 31, the final 5 kilometers of this race. Alonso will fight hard to try and snag a victory, at least to cross over the line first. He won't keep it, obviously. The penalties will play a massive part. Sector 3 yellows, that is the Renault of the very lazy Tal. And Alonso will look around the outside. He can't quite get it done, but he'll try and hold it going into turn 8. Down the inside he goes. Wog Boy gets a switchback. Will Pure Gold follow? No, he won't. What a move by Wog Boy. He snags back the lead through turn 9. Coming into the Singapore sling once more. Alonso sends it. Oh my God. Okay. Oh my goodness me. That was a send and a half. And goodness me. Oh, that is. Oh, that is one of the funniest things I have ever seen. My goodness me. He just sent it down the inside. Oh, that did not work out. Mr. Alonso, not work out at all. But Wog Boy coming through Sector 3 for the final time. He has demonstrated why he is the 2-time green champion. He won the championship last year. And as of the start of this race, he became the newly crowned champion of Season 2. He will come around the final 2 turns and he wins here at Singapore. Schmidt will come home in P2, I imagine? No, P3. Pure Gold hangs on to P2. OP Magic gets P4. Breno P5. Cutsy P6. Alonso, because of his penalties, P7. Garlas P8. Alcatraz P9. False Equation P10. And Honest Crook coming through Sector 3 for the final time will come home in 11th place and secures 10 points for Toro Rosso. My goodness me. That was a race and a half here at Singapore, as it usually is. 50 minutes of action-packed race. Very nice indeed. Now let's have the podium celebrations. Wogboy wins again. He remains unbeaten. Pretty well in every single race this season. He has gotten a podium, except for Austria, where he had those audio issues where he left the session and he wasn't able to rejoin. That's the only race where he hasn't finished on the podium. It has been an absolutely dominant season from Wogboy and a truly deserving champion indeed. But your final results here in Singapore. Wogboy in first place, Pure Gold P2, Schmidt P3. A superb drive from these two. Both of them 15 positions gained in the race. Very superb drive. OP Magic P4, Breno P5, Cutsy P6, Robbie Alonso P7, Garlas P8, Alcatraz P9, False Equation P10, and Honest Crook rounds out the finishing drivers in P11. And here you score 10 points for Toro Rosso. Holy moly. I am knackered from that. I am absolutely knackered from that. Singapore, it is a long race for sure. But luckily, there was plenty of action in this race. A lot of stuff to look at. A lot of drama and a lot of chaos. And that will end round 12 of the DRS Green Championship. Oh, don't tell me we're stuck on this loading screen. There we go. Holy moly. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. Another race, another round, another piece of chaos and drama. Brilliant. Like I said, that will end round 12 of the DRS Green Championship. But tune in for tomorrow night. It is round 13 of the Blue Championship. And we go to, quite possibly, the most legendary circuit in the Formula One calendar. The most legendary 3.3 kilometers of tarmac in the world of motorsport. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for the first time in DRS history. We are streaming a race here at Monte Carlo. It's going to be brilliant. Tune in for tomorrow night for the Monaco Grand Prix. But until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and good night.